That night, I changed into pajamas that were apparently intended for Alice and reclined on the bed. But it's no use. I'm never going to get to sleep. My eyes were wide awake. I wasn't the least bit sleepy. Now that I think of it, it's no wonder I can't relax. After all, this house is meant for Alice. It's not mine. I let out a small sigh and sat up in bed, giving up trying to sleep. I left the house to get some fresh air and sat down on a bench in the garden. I stared absent-mindedly up at the sky and took in the countless specks of light twinkling in the darkness. My gaze slowly dropped to see the flowers bathed in moonlight. I wonder what's gonna happen now. I had no idea what to expect, and the more I thought about it, the more uncertain I became. It almost made me hope that my memory might return tomorrow.
Amelie.
Suddenly, a familiar voice echoed in the night. I thought you'd gone home. When I looked in the direction of the voice, Joker was walking towards me, carrying a paper bag.
I was afraid the house wouldn't have any provisions. I went back into town to buy some food. You haven't eaten anything. At least not since you met me, have you?
It hadn't crossed my mind until he mentioned it. I smiled gently. I forgot all about eating. I didn't even feel hungry.
I understand the need to ruminate, but if you keep this up, your body will languish before your heart does. How about some fruit? That ought to be easy.
As he spoke, Joker sat down beside me. He pulled something pale and yellow out of the paper bag and took a knife to it. It fit right into the palm of his hand and was shaped like a deformed umbrella. There was a shaft sticking out of the middle, just like a real umbrella, and a crook handle. That's a fruit, right? He hummed merrily as he peeled what was supposedly a fruit. Oh, the song! It's the same one he was humming when I lost consciousness. His hands moved smoothly and confidently as he peeled the fruit, as though he were removing the fabric from an umbrella. I couldn't help but be mesmerized by the sight. He had very skillful hands. Before I was even aware of it, there was even a plate set out. Did he bring it from the Alice house, or had he used a spell while I was preoccupied? He cut it up and set it on the plate, piercing one slice with a small silver fork. Thanks. I murmured my appreciation as I took the fork he held out to me. Can I ask you something? This is fruit, right? At my question, Joker's eyes widened in bewilderment. I'm sorry if I've offended you. It's not that I don't trust you, I just don't recall anything about this fruit. So... As I reluctantly explained, Joker nodded in understanding.
So that's why. There's no need to apologize. I respect your attempts to take everything in despite your memory loss.
Oh, yeah? Did he just compliment me? As I sat there blinking, Joker smiled faintly and spoke.
This is a plum parasol. It's very juicy and sweet. It's not very unusual in Wonderland, but...
Joker smiled lightly and urged me to try the fruit.
I kind of like it. You most likely will too. So go ahead and try it.
For some reason, his insistence had me believing his words to be true. I will. Thanks. I smiled and nodded at him. I took a bite out of the smooth white fruit on the fork. This tastes amazing!
Doesn't it? I knew you would like it.
The plum parasol was cool, juicy, and incredibly appetizing. It was not only sweet, but it had a slight tartness to it that made it refreshing. I hadn't had an appetite until now, but... in reality, I must have been hungry. I stabbed the fork into another slice of fruit and brought it to my mouth. The juice from the fruit helped soothe my parched throat, and I felt myself relaxing. Joker? I took a moment to gather my thoughts before I whispered my confession. I'm a bit scared that I can't remember anything. I walked through Wonderland with you today, Joker. But I couldn't remember anything. It was like I was seeing everything for the first time.
I see.
Joker listened to my hesitant confession and just nodded.
Let me ask you one thing, Amelie.
Yes, of course.
Is it really necessary for you to regain your memory?
Huh? His words were so unexpected, I didn't know what to say. I suppose it's not imperative that I regain my memory, but it would be nice to remember if I could, because it's scary not to remember anything. I was sure I could do so much more if I could only remember. With only vague memories, I didn't know what I could and couldn't do. It's frightening not knowing anything. It's like walking a tightrope while blindfolded. Wouldn't it be better to just remember than to live in a perpetual state of insecurity?
Regardless of the nature of those memories?
Joker smiled faintly as if testing me, but I gave him a definitive nod. Of course, not everything in life is a bed of roses. I'd rather live with memories than without it. No matter how painful they are, I still want my memories back. Those the experiences upon which my life has been built. It would be a waste to let it all go. Joker let out a small resigned sigh and muttered as if to himself.
I don't see what's wrong with not turning back and just creating new memories. In your case, Amelie, I don't know if you're being brave or just plain reckless.
He smiled in amusement and regarded me with curiosity. But what made you ask me a thing as such? Is it really necessary for you to regain your memory? Something about the question bothered me. I decided to press Joker further.
To be honest, I don't remember anything about my past either.
Oh, is that so? Wait, are you serious? He spoke as if it was completely natural. Somehow I felt his confession deserved more fanfare. While the unexpected revelation left me at a loss, Joker spoke as if nothing was out of the ordinary.
I told you that I was a criminal, didn't I? Well, I don't remember the crime I'm supposed to have committed.
I found myself speechless. I was so confused I didn't know what to say. Do you have amnesia too? Joker smiled tightly and narrowed his rose-colored eyes. Losing your memory?
Yes, that's correct.
He nodded in response.
Everyone in Wonderland knows that I committed a crime in the past, but no one knows exactly what kind of crime I committed. Perhaps the king might have an idea, but...
King?
Well, ordinary people don't seem to know.
Joker shrugged his shoulders and regarded me.